The reason why I was so happy to speak to you tonight, and the reason why personally I've gotten behind Neil and Suzanne's cause, and why the Pirates and Pirates Charities have gotten behind the cause, is because the mission is real, it's significant, and Neil and Suzanne have put their time and energy into this cause. And Neil spoke to our minor league players at spring training 2 years ago, and I will tell you that we probably have more outside speakers speak to both our major league players and our minor league players during spring training and then during the season than any other major league club, because we really believe in the education process, particularly of our young players who are coming up through our minor league systems. These young men are anywhere from 16 to 22, 23 years old, and we're helping them develop from boys into men. And we take responsibility to make sure that we develop them the right way, like they're our sons. And we think that that makes them better baseball players, so when they're here playing in front of you, they're going to help us win. But we also think it's the right thing to do. So we have a lot of outside speakers speaking on many, many topics, some motivational, some leadership, some purely educational, on many, many different topics: fitness, health, mental conditioning, dealing with adversity. And over the time that I've been with the club, this is my 7th season, I try to attend as many of these sessions as I can when I'm in spring training. And I will tell you that of all of these, and I must have attended at least 100 over the course of these years, 2 have really stood out to me. One was last year, where the parents of a 24-year-old teammate of many of these men who had just passed away unexpectedly that off season of a heart ailment in his sleep spoke to the players about what they meant to their son and what the Pittsburgh Pirates meant. That was moving. But the other one was when Neil came 2 years ago and spoke to our minor league players. I will tell you, he had them silent and locked in like I've never seen them before. He had them emotional as they felt what Neil was feeling, but they felt at the end of the time inspired by the message that Neil delivered. And that message is really very simple, although not many of us, if we really think about it, not many of us could deliver it. And that is, you can't let a bad break knock you down. You can't give up, and you can't quit when you've been dealt a bad break. But instead, what is your purpose in life, and what Neil has taken as his purpose in life, is to take that bad break and to make something positive out of it. And something positive here is the Live Like Lou organization. I'm inspired by it myself. I'm amazed by it. There's a real need for raising the awareness of this disease, to raise funds for a cure. Every time that we look at this, can't there be a cure so that we don't have these situations in the future? We see what it does to the body of a man or a woman. And then importantly, while we're trying to find that cure, while we're supporting research to find the cure, let's do something to help support the families that are dealing with family members who have this disease. And that's an important mission statement as well. So getting back to the minor league players, they were inspired, they were in awe, and I will tell you, they stayed and waited till after Neil's remarks, and then a long line formed, because these young men wanted to talk to Neil personally and thank him for being there. I appreciated it. Anything I can do to pay back, that's why I'm here. I'm here for you, because you were here for us. Obviously, there is a strong connection between ALS and Major League Baseball. The disease is named after Lou Gehrig, or Lou Gehrig gave his name to the disease. I'm sure he didn't want to. That wasn't what he was thinking was going to be the end of his baseball career. And the fact that this disease attacks very strong, physically strong individuals is represented by the fact that Lou Gehrig was the Iron Horse. The man played every single night for 13 consecutive professional baseball seasons. That doesn't happen anymore. Cal Ripken eventually broke his record of 2,130 games played consecutively, but that doesn't happen anymore. This was a remarkably physically strong individual, also by the way, one of the greatest baseball players who's ever put on a uniform. But he came down with the disease at 36 years old. He immediately had to retire, gave the famous speech that inspires still today, and I think we might hear it later on tonight, but passed away 2 years later. Another example, I'm not sure if you've heard about it, I'm sure Neil and Suzanne have. I just recently learned about it. A young man who was the captain of the Boston College baseball team when our own catcher, Tony Sanchez, was a freshman. He was the captain, senior captain of the team, Pete Freitas, who at 27 years old was diagnosed with ALS, and who now, I think it's 5 years later, I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, boy, I just heard about Pete's story, 27 years old, obviously physically strong, captain of his baseball team, diagnosed with this disease. I'd really love, he lives in the Boston area, I'd love to have Pete here at a game, introduce him to Neil, have him throw out a first pitch, have him be part of a pregame ceremony. And the gentleman said he would have loved to do it, but he's not physically able to do that any longer. So it happens quickly, and it is significant. So the fact that Neil would take this adversity, and that's a small word for what we're dealing with here, but to take this adversity and not let it beat him, but to use it to help others, is really the definition of charity. Neil is making the lives of others better by what he can do today. So we support him. We're all by you, Neil, and we'd love to be a part of it. So thank you very much. Appreciate everything you're doing.